answers, he seeks out a criminal profiler who specializes in serial offenders.
Oh, yes. Ricky thought they had one. We agreed we thought it was a serial killer.
Professor Maurice Godwin is a forensic scientist, criminologist, and author. The sheriff asks him to look into the Jennings deaths.
At this location here, Crystal was the 6th victim found. What I feel is sorrow, humble, because we know that a life was taken, and the person who took that life is still free.
Dr. Godwin maps the specific locations of the crime scenes to create a geographic profile of the killer that could help investigators pinpoint his whereabouts.
Obviously, law enforcement knows where the victims are found, but really beyond that, they don't look at the body dump sites as a whole, and that's very important because you get into his shoes, then you start tracking him.
The locations of the first 3 bodies fit a pattern Godwin's seen with other serial killers.
What I found in my research is when they first start killing, they will abduct their victims close to where they live at, and they would abduct the victims much further away. The logic behind that is they don't really want to leave evidence on their back doorstep.
The first 3 victims are all found in canals. But with the 4th body, something has changed. Whitney Dubois is discovered in the middle of a dirt road.
For a serial killer to not be caught, that builds arrogance and confidence in them. This was a gravel road back when she was disposed of. Normally there's 2 reasons why somebody would leave a completely nude body in the middle of a gravel road. It could be taunting the police, or it's a blatant disregard for the victim. So this is like in your face. Look at me, I'm on my 4th victim. You don't even know who I am.
Dr. Godwin enters the dump site information into a computer algorithm.
I have a geographical profiling system called Predator that I developed. I entered the locations of where the victims' bodies were found.
The algorithm generates a map with a specific location that the killer operates from, what Godwin calls a geographical anchor point.
You take half a mile in a circle area from that hit anchor point, and then you can say that the killer has a strong affinity for this area.
Tonight, for the first time, criminal psychologist Dr. Maurice Godwin gives an exclusive interview with KATC.
In a local TV broadcast, Dr. Godwin places the killer's anchor point outside the Jennings town limits in a rural area.
This anchor point is a specific location that I say that the offender has some type of ties to. It doesn't necessarily have to be where he lives at. It could be maybe where his work is based out of.
Dr. Godwin is convinced the killer spends a lot of time in Jennings and is likely to be a known person in the community.
Normally people talk. The question is, if people in Jennings knows who this killer is, why are they keeping it a secret?
And he believes that one way the killer has avoided being caught is by targeting women who are less likely to be reported missing.
Serial killers prey on these type of victims because they know if the family didn't hear from them for days, that's nothing new. But these victims are not throwaway people. And obviously she was loved. The family members placed this memorial for her. And it's definitely emotionally moving for me. The killer left Christina Lopez and others to rot. And this should energize everyone to bring this killer to justice for the families.
She was a loving child. There ain't a day that goes by I don't think of her. I mean, she's gone. They'll have no closure, no answers.
Mother's Day every year is